Hey my good friends, Sam Haymart with Test Driven TV. We had a chance to test drive the all-new 2022 Hyundai Santa Cruz this week, and this has a lot of features on it that I think are worth noting. Therefore, we have this video, and we're going to go over the top 10 coolest features that really got my attention. All right, my friends, number one on the list. Right here, you can see it, can't you? Well, actually you can't because they're hidden. The daytime running lights on the Limited, when you fire this thing up, they come up from behind the black chrome grille, something that you don't see until they actually turn on. And those signature lights have this coolest robotic Transformers-like look that I think this truck really gets a lot of personality from. This is just a cool feature that Hyundai didn't have to do. That's a styling element that really just gives this thing some personality, I think. Now we're at the back so we can look at number two, which is the built-in bumper side steps. And this helps you get up into the cargo box. General Motors has had these on their trucks for a while, and I'm glad that Hyundai integrated it on theirs. It makes it much easier to step up into this truck when you've got the tailgate down. And to that, let's talk about the tailgate. When you lower the tailgate, this actually has a two-position tailgate, number 3 on our list. This is the multifunction tailgate, and essentially what this allows you to do is you can raise it by popping these clips and repositioning it. And of course you do that on both sides so that you can actually put 4x8 sheets of plywood in here. And the plywood would rest on top of some 2x6s you can lay across the fender wells. And so that's something that the Ford Maverick has as well, a feature very important in a truck that doesn't have a full-size bed. Number 4 on the list is the roll-up tonneau cover. Now this is something that comes standard on the Limited, and it is an aluminum cover. It makes a little bit of noise, but you pop that and it opens all the way up. I really like this feature. It's a very expensive feature if you were buying it in the aftermarket, especially a hard roll-up one like this. It is lockable. You can pull it back shut. Now the instructions say to use that strap, so it's a little bit easier. The only thing that I could really say about it that might be a negative is the fact that when you look up in there, that does take up a lot of space from your storage area. Number 5 on our list is another feature here with the bed, and that is the lockable storage area down in the bottom of the bed. Very similar to the Honda Ridgeline, although because this is a smaller truck, it's not quite as large. But similar to the Honda Ridgeline, it is something that you can put ice in. If you're doing tailgate, you can make an ice chest out of it. It has plugs so that you can drain it. But again, this is lockable, and it has some nice gas struts on it to help keep it up when you open it. Number 6 on the list, and we're still back here at the cargo box, these are the side storage cubbies. Right here, you can open these up, and they just give you a nice spot to store a few things, gear, whatever it happens to be. And the one on that side on this truck actually has an AC outlet, so you can put a number of things in there, an air pump, or you can just charge your gear. Number 7 on the list is something I was actually surprised to see in the features list, and I actually had to research a little bit to find out what it was all about, and that is the self-leveling suspension. And while that sounds like it might have an air suspension or something more sophisticated like more expensive trucks, what this is it has a pair of load leveling shocks. And this is a technology that's been around for a while, and basically how it works is when this thing sits down, when you put weight in it, the shocks sense that they're in a different position. And so when you start driving again, and when those wheels start moving around up and down, the shock begins to store some of that pressure inside and help raise the vehicle back up. So when the shock extends, it locks it in that position. And so eventually the rear of the truck comes back up to be in a level position. And when you unload the truck, it eventually lets itself back down to the neutral position. Kind of an interesting feature. Number 8 on the list is the under-seat storage bin. These seats fold up in a 60-40 split, and that gives you access, whether you're on one side or the other or both, to a big tub underneath this seat. Now they are taking part of it up here for the jack, but if you move that to some other place, you could use this entire thing. I'm not quite sure it's wide enough to lay a rifle in there or not. and it is not locking, so I'm not sure that in some states that would work all that well legally, but it is a nice storage space underneath for anything that you might carry along in your truck. Number 9 on the list is something that we first saw with Honda with their lane watch cameras, and this has a system that lights up images on the instrument cluster when you're driving and you hit your turn signal. It's lane change cameras. There's one on the left, one on the right, and those light up on the instrument cluster on the left or the right, so that you have sort of a bird's eye view that really gets rid of your blind spot when you're driving on the freeway or any other highway. It's also a really good tool for those times when you're in the city, for example, and you're sitting at a stoplight and you get ready to turn, and maybe a guy on a bike came up next to you and you didn't quite see him out of the corner of your eye. This is a very helpful feature for things like that. Lastly, number 10 on the list is something I love in almost every Hyundai vehicle I've tested of recent days, and that is right here in the infotainment system. There is this thing called Sounds of Nature. If you don't want to listen to the radio, the news, commercials, whatever, you can go to this very cool thing here and turn on background sounds. There's a long list of them here that really give you a lot of options. I love it because I can sit in traffic on a hectic day, turn off all of the clutter, and just zen out. All right, my friends, there you go for the top 10 coolest features that got my attention with this new Santa Cruz. It just goes to show that when a company wants to make something cool and useful, they can go the extra mile and do it. Yeah, so there you go. Now, if you like the video you just saw, please see our latest one right there, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel right down there. Either way, stay tuned.